Hello, superstar traders. Welcome back to the EQ Markets Global YouTube channel. This is the weekly market outlook where we share deep market insights on what exactly is going to be happening in the market. We look at basically the economic happenings for the week and how it's going to be affecting the market. Not only that, we also share deep insights on technical analysis to look at the direction of your favorite assets. My name is 𝗦𝗛𝗔𝗥𝗕𝗘, Head Market Analyst for EQ Markets Global, and I'm super delighted to share moments like this with you guys. All right, let's jump straight into business, right? So for this week, we have just a handful of informations regarding economic calendar and economic happenings around the world that we will be expecting, okay? All right, so on Monday, which is today, we're currently looking at, we're just expecting the CPI data month on month for the Swiss, okay? And then, of course, there's going to be bank holiday throughout today for Canada, and as well, we're expecting some ISM manufacturing PMI for the United States dollar. Don't forget that this particular information would actually be needed for our Friday NFP, right? So this is one of the datas, one of the pre-datas that we collate to make some permutations and combinations to know exactly what will probably be happening for the NFP. So those of you that have been asking me, how have I been able to trade NFP consistently for 6 months with you guys, and we've been making profit, these are just some of the baby steps, right? Some of the baby informations that you need to know. All right, so yes, one of the early data we look at is a manufacturing PMI as well. And then going forward as well, we will be expecting by Tuesday some interest rates and cash rates. It's actually called cash rate, right, for the Aussie, right? And of course, it's kind of tentative. We don't really know by how many basis points that is going to be increased by. Of course, you can see the last we could find is around 4.10%, right? 4.10%. And of course, it's forecasted to still be around 4.10%. But of course, if we're following interest rate hike for even other assets over the week, we would know that it is presented like this most times. But of course, the interest rate hike is about around 25 to 50 basis points. So of course, yes, I'm also expecting that it's not going to be around the 4.10% that is being forecasted. Rather, there will be most likely a 15 to 25 basis point interest rate hike for the Aussie. That will be happening 5:30 a.m. Nigerian time for on Tuesday, okay, for the Aussie. And then, of course, all day there will be bank holiday tomorrow for the United States dollar, right? And then, of course, on Wednesday, we're going to be having OPEC meeting, guys. OPEC meeting. Remember, a whole lot of the policies review, and of course, cutting down productions and a whole lot that has been going on the OPEC, right? So I would not be commenting so much on that, but we should also put that in view for Wednesday, especially for those of us that like to trade oil, whether you like to trade the Brent or the West Texas Intermediate, or you like to trade the crude, right? Whatever it is that you like to trade, so long as it's tied around energy, right? On Wednesday, I would advise you be careful, right? I just advise you be careful because, of course, it's not like NFP that I've been able to know so much about, right? So we should also be careful. Probably you can go to forexlive.com, okay? Or you can go to Finviz, find more information about the OPEC meetings, and perhaps you can be able to find some useful information there as well. All right, another data that we need, a pre-data that we need for our NFP trading on Friday, coming up on Friday, is the FOMC. And what is the FOMC? The Federal Open Market Committee, okay? The Federal Open Market Committee. Of course, this is basically more like the committee that looks into a whole lot of things happening in the US, of course, from voting for interest rates and inflation, and of course how to cushion inflation, and most of all of the policies around that is the FOMC committee, the Federal Open Market Committee, that does that. So whenever they are having their meetings, we are already expecting some volatility to occur in the market, right? But that is not so much of a data we should bother ourselves of concern for NFP, right? But it's still part of the data. Another one we look at, in fact, that gives us a good insight to NFP on Friday is the ADP non-farm employment change. What is ADP? ADP is simply Automatic Data Processing Incorporated. It's a company that tries to mimic what is going to be happening on Friday, right? So just before Friday, NFP data are being released. Already 2 days, usually 2 days before, we get to see ADP's report and how ADP's report is going to most likely mimic what is going to be happening on Friday. So it's more like some derivatives. They are not the real assets, but they are derived from the real assets, right? So with their behavior, you can tell what the real asset does, right? So now just think of it that way, that is what ADP non-farm employment change could be, right? So yes, on Thursday will be on Thursday by 1:15 p.m. we'll be having the ADP non-farm employment change, and we need to put an eye on that report as well. All right, going forward as well, we'll be looking at, of course, the unemployment claims and some services PMI. And then, of course, by 3 p.m., we're also going to be seeing the JOLTS report. JOLTS is Job Opening and Labor Turnover Survey, right? It simply tells you about how many job opportunities are currently existing this month that is open to people. How many jobs are open to people? How many? All right. So this is not including the agricultural sector, but every other sector excluding the agricultural sector. So we need to know. Now, this report is also going to lead towards what's going to be happening on Friday. So Friday's NFP report simply tells you how many people have claimed those jobs that were open, those jobs that were opportunity. How many people claimed them? How many people are now employed? What is the average hourly earning? And of course, what is the employment change with respect to the number of people who claimed that they were jobless? Remember, there is unemployment claims as well. Yeah, so these are important data that we also need to be looking at. So JOLTS report, right? We also need to look at it on Thursday. Remember, everything is building momentum towards our trading NFP for Friday. But that does not mean we are going to just sit down, hold our hands, and wait till Friday. No, right? We will just be trading alongside with these reports, but we will be documenting them so that we can make proper analysis on Friday. And then, of course, on Friday, by 8:30 a.m., we'll be expecting Governor Bailey's of Great Britain to give some speech. And then, of course, by 1:30, the big time that we're all waiting for, where we're going to be experiencing NFP coming out from the US, and of course, some employment changes and unemployment rate reports coming out from Canada. All will be happening together by 1:30 p.m., right? So if you want to trade NFP with me, all right, on Friday, it's simple. If you are new, this is what we do. You need to have at least a minimum of $200 in your equity trading account. Equity is our official brokerage partner to EQ Markets Global, right? So all you simply have to do is in this video, somewhere below, look at the description. You're going to see the link to the website. Simply click on it, go create an account, and somebody's going to contact you, right? Fund that account with a minimum of $200, and of course, I am going to get back to you, and you'll be able to trade NFP live with me, right? So the statistics are there, the testimonies are there. We've traded NFP. This is the 7th NFP we will be trading together this year, and all 6 of them have been massive profit, guys. So be part of that profit. In fact, I'm giving out something really amazing to 3 lucky participants, 2 or 3 lucky participants, as I'll be led, right? I'll be giving my NFP profit, 50% of it, to about 2 to 3 lucky participants that will be there. So you can't miss this, guys. You can't miss this. All right, so these are the data and informations that we will be expecting for this week. Let's quickly look at the dollar index, right? Although I really wanted to look at pound index, I also wanted to look at the Japanese index, but I'll be doing all of those videos I'll be doing all of those explanations on a separate video that I will be uploading later this week on this same YouTube channel, right? For some of you that have been stock trading GBP JPY, it has been buying without mercy, and you feel like it was supposed to sell, and now you are stuck. You're selling, but it's buying continuously, right? I'm going to tell you what you're going to be looking out for and how you're going to be attacking it, right? It has been, of course, I was a victim of it, and of course, a lot of my students were also stuck in such kind of trades, right? I'm going to be telling you what to be doing. That's why you need to subscribe to this YouTube channel, right? But for now, in this video, I'll be talking about the dollar index, right? And of course, how we can trade the dollar index. If you look at the dollar index on a weekly time frame, the dollar, I told you, took off a bullish flight from this established support area, right? After consolidating around this area for about a month, right? And then the dollar took its bullish flight. Sorry. So after consolidating around this zone for about a month, it took a bullish flight. Okay. Now, what we noticed was even before this bearish retracement comes into play, the highest point of this was unable to break the highest point of this. It simply means that the bearish movement is still so much valid, right? The bearish movement is still so much valid. But of course, this is weekly time frame. We just want to know the structure on the higher time frame. And of course, we can't do so much with that structure on a short term. And of course, that's the reason why I'll be going over to the dollar index chart. And of course, we will be looking at it and analyzing it ourselves, right? So we are here. So this is the dollar index on the weekly time frame, just like I was telling you, right? So this is it on the weekly time frame. This is it on the weekly time frame. So I have the feeling, looking at it on the weekly time frame, that the dollar is actually going to move, right? The dollar is actually going to move into this level that is being marked out here. And of course, that's the 105.817. But let's not be biased on just one time frame. So let's scale down to some lower time frames and let's see what is happening there. So on some lower time frames, we can see, of course, the lower highs and lower lows that was still building momentum. So first the lower high and another lower high and another lower high. But what is of also noteworthy that we need to look at was equal lows, right? So we were having a descending highs but equal lows. What does that tell you? That simply tells you that the bulls that are locking around this area here are very strong, okay? They are very strong. So hopefully, what I'm expecting that would most likely happen on the dollar is that the dollar is going to, all right, so let me pick this, I'm coming. The dollar is going to move, and of course, from that level, we're going to be seeing some form of rejections that is going to see it back to this trend line here, okay? Oh, no. Sorry, let me take that out now. All right, so we see, yeah. And then, of course, from that level, we see it come back, and beautiful. So this is what possibly I will be expecting to happen on the dollar, right? On the daily time frame, I'm expecting the dollar to have some bullish push this week, right? And then fall back below, break below this trend line here, and come back to its original support. Then we can know if it's going to be breaking that support or not. Lastly, let's look at it on the 4-hourly time frame, and then of course from the 4-hourly time frame we will be going forward so that we can know how we can be trading and what we can be trading as well. Looking at this on the 4-hourly time frame as well, we can see series of lower highs and lower lows, even though this is looking pretty well like a form of retracement, right? Yeah, but it is not a retracement, it's in the right direction. Instead, this bullish move is the retracement. Of course, we have seen that structure on the weekly time frame, right? So yes, we have had series of lower highs and lower lows, a series of lower highs and lower lows. But like I was saying, while I was expecting the bullish push was this, right? So let's look at it together, and let me show you while I was expecting that to happen. So yes, here right, we had a lower high, and then again, we had another lower high, and another one. You can see that, right? And of course, we had another one. But unfortunately, this last one was actually invalidated, right? So we're having to create series of lower highs and lower lows, lower highs and lower lows, lower highs and lower lows. And then, boom, what happened was this other low became broken, right? So we had more like a change of character. And then if you notice carefully, we now start having what? Higher highs and higher lows. True? Let's see that together. We started seeing higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows. You can see that, right? So hopefully this creates another low, right? Which eventually will help us see this top. So of course, this was my bias. If you listen earlier, right? I said I'm expecting a bullish push, then a bearish move back below, right? So yes, after this break of structure, this is to testify that prices is most likely to continue to rally up, right? And of course, that's why I'm expecting more bullish push this week, right? Before NFP actually on Friday. Before NFP actually on Friday, I'm expecting this to come into a significant resistance zone so that by NFP, it's going to be devalued. But that's for now a bias, all right? Whatever thing that happens in the market is what we will be trading when NFP comes. All right, so this makes sense, right? So now that we understand that, we're going to most likely see a little bullish push, if possible, on the dollar before we would be able to see some bearish movement. So what exactly can we be trading this week, and how can we be trading them? I have marked out about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6 assets that are going to fetch you real money. You know how we do it, right? 6 assets that are going to fetch you real money, right? So let me share those 6 assets with you guys very quickly, right? Very quickly. Like I said, OPEC meeting is this week, so I would be avoiding US oil up until after OPEC meeting. But of course, if you notice carefully, US oil had been choppy for quite some time. It had been choppy all the way from here, right? So I'm expecting a continuous bullish movement, and of course, before the OPEC meeting comes up, and then we know if it's breaking out from the top or if it's breaking below from the bottom, right? So I'm leaving US oil aside my analysis for this week, right? So let me just quickly give you the other ones that I have opportunity to give to you. USD CAD is number 1, all right? So remember what we said, we're expecting some bullish push and then a bearish movement on USD. If that's the case, on USD CAD, we'll be expecting some bullish movement or a consolidation and then a drop. After the consolidation, then what? A drop. Remember, so this is why I'm expecting a drop on the USD CAD. If you look at it on the weekly time frame, this is pretty well sitting on a weekly support area, well-established weekly support area. And of course, those areas are these areas that I've marked out, around 1.31921 and of course 1.31068, right? And prices rallied into that support area and of course is brewing to have a bullish flight. But this is what is noteworthy, because we can't just jump into that market all because we are expecting something more. We're expecting a bullish push to occur. No. So we look at it on the daily time frame, all right, the trend line that we've just drawn. And of course, we notice this trend line to have occurred this way, right? Watch this. We've noticed this trend line to have occurred this way. We have the first touch, and then the second, the third, and of course, again, later on, prices is coming into this established support area. So most likely, what I'm expecting is prices to make some consolidation around this zone, right? Or even make a drop around this zone, all right? It makes a drop or consolidate around this zone and then gets to this trend line. It's still within the established support area, right? Before having a proper bullish flight. So I wasn't even moved with these last 2 big buys that occurred last week, Wednesday and Thursday. No, I wasn't really moved with it. Okay. I also moved with it. I think that should be Tuesday, Wednesday. So what I'm expecting is prices to drop from this zone. Another thing to show to you while I'm expecting prices to drop to that zone is this, all right? If you look closely here, you can notice some imbalance that is here, a fair value gap, sort of, right? You might say it's not necessary, it's not needed, right? But this imbalance somewhat have to be what? It has to be filled, okay? So if you look at it carefully, right? If you look at it carefully, looking at this, using the Fibonacci to check this fair value gap, we need to see prices retrace into 61.8 level, which is a perfect place that we could possibly be looking out for a short, right? So around this level, prices has not gotten to that level. It's still consolidating. So we might most likely see prices come into the 61.8 level. Okay, let me map that out and then, of course, take the fib away so that we can see that together. So yes, I'm expecting most likely prices to come into the zone at around 1.3289890, and then from that zone we look for a sell confirmation to go back below, right? Of course, that's when this area here is the area I'll be looking out for a proper sell. So yes, USD card, be looking out for a sell at around 1.32890, 1.32890, okay? Or else if it breaks out from this consolidation area, please take on a sell. But remember, the sell you're taking on is not the long-term bias of USD card, okay? The sell is not the long-term bias of USD card. The long-term bias of USD card is a buy, but we are only taking a sell that we're only trading a little opportunity that is going to present itself on the sell. And of course, after the opportunity, we're going to look for the buy, which is the main, all right, which is the main signal for USD card. But for now, let us trade the retracement, which is more like an opportunity. So if you don't know how to trade retracement, I would advise you keep this pending, all right? Then you go to the next one that I want to give to you to trade. And of course, that is gold. So where is gold going this week? All right, so gold actually made it to my to the top of my analysis this week. Okay, sorry about that. Just hold on. Okay. Wow, so sorry, so sorry. Let's look at this together again now. All right, so like I was saying, gold made it to the top of my analysis this week, okay? So yes, those of you that I said, if you don't know how to trade retracement on an asset, then forget about trading USD card. Gold is actually presenting you a very good buy opportunity. So remember what I've been saying in other weekly market outlook, that gold was going to have last week. Go watch my last weekly market outlook. Everything played out as I have analyzed, especially on gold. I told you gold was going to fall down to this trend line, and of course we find rejections on this trend line and we go all the way up. If you remember, go back and watch it, right? So gold actually played out exactly how we've forecasted. And I told you, except otherwise, I am buy biased on gold. I told you, right? I told you I am buy biased on gold. Last week, in fact, I said it was a controversial analysis I was making on gold. And I know people were going to come for me, but all right, while I was controversial on gold is because, of course, on gold, I'm seeing series of higher highs and higher lows. I've already seen a break of structure. So most likely gold is going to create an all-time high, higher than what it just did last 3 months or thereabouts ago, or last 2 months or so, when it got to about 2081, right? So gold is probably going to kick out 2081 to create another all-time high. And of course, we can see that clearly on the daily time frame. So we had the first touch here, the second around here. This is the third touch. Remember, the third touch creates the third impulsive wave, right? Which is almost most times the longest or the strongest. So if I am correct If you agree with me on that, it simply means that most likely gold is going to create an all-time high, an ATH. All right. So this is what I'm going to be doing. So I can see established by my trend line, first touch, second touch, and third touch. Of course, most of you that know the way I trade, you know that I don't just get excited and jump into a trade because it comes to my potential trading area. No, what I simply do is I look out for a confirmation around that zone. And of course, here I get a bullish confirmation. Guys, I saw my commodity channel index telling me that there is bullish momentum in the market. Okay, that there is bullish momentum in the market. If I'm to trade this with proper trading setups which I use, it simply means I would have entered this trade by the next candle opening, which is today's candle. And then of course my ideal stop loss is supposed to be some pips below this lowest wick here, right? And then of course, whatever I'm risking, I always aim to get 1:2 at least on the minimum. So if I'm risking about 290 pips, right, I'll be expecting to get about 600 pips to the upside. All right. So I'm expecting gold to make 600 pips to the upside, probably before this week runs out. Okay, probably before this week runs out, I'll be expecting gold to make at least a 600 bullish move. All right. Now let's look at it and see how to trade these on the spot, right? On the spot. Without wasting time, we'll see how to trade this on the spot. Okay. So I'm expecting the retracement to still continue to occur on the 4-hourly time frame, right? Let's look at it together. So yes, prices have actually made a bullish rally. It has actually made a bullish rally. This is only but a retracement. But of course, around this zone here, if you notice carefully, this is more like a support zone. So yes, support. Okay. Pardon me. Let me use this so you can see that clearly. So this is a support. This is a support. And then we had break. This is again a break to the upside. So this is more like a retest. And so, of course, if this support area holds, then we will see prices begin to rally all the way up, right? So this is one confirmation as to you buying gold this week, okay? As to you buying gold this week. So yes, I am super buy biased on gold. I am super buy biased on gold. Things even gets clearer on the 1-hourly time frame. So if you are also the type that still uses the CCI to find confirmation, yes, around this support area here, let's get the CCI to confirm on the 1-hourly time frame. Then we can jump into that market for a buy, all right? For a buy. Okay, so buy gold this week. Look for opportunities to buy gold this week. So I've given you two, right? I've given you USD card and I've given you gold. The next I would want to give you is Euro NZD, okay? So yes, Euro NZD this week is going to be selling. And let me tell you why Euro NZD this week is going to be selling, okay? So let's look at it together. So Euro NZD is actually playing around a very significant resistance area, right? It's supply zone. If you look at this particular area around here, you will also testify with me that this area is a very established resistance zone. And most likely in the recent years, whenever prices gets to this zone, it always turns, goes to the south, right? Previously, it was a support area before it broke out and then began to become a resistant area, okay? So yes, we had prices go to that same level. It was rejected, okay? And then, of course, we got that prices back up to that level again. Sometime in November 2018, it was rejected. And then, of course, some fundamentals occurred here. We all know that, right? Rejections again, and again, another rejections. But this is just one out of the many things that would make me want to sell Euro NZD. What is also intriguing me is the fact that there is a bearish momentum showing up on the weekly time frame, right? Using my commodity channel index, there is a bearish momentum that I can find on the Euro NZD. So, of course, how do I trade it? I have to scale down to the daily time frame, and of course, begin to look. On the daily time frame as well, I get confirmation for a bearish movement. So number one, price came to a supply zone, and then I get a sell confirmation. But for us to trade this, I can still see this fair value gap. So I think that will give us a nice entry into the market. So let's look at where probably we'll be expecting this sell to occur. All right. So if you find this, go to the hourly time frame, and then let's look at it together. So most likely we will be expecting some retracement back into the 61.8 level, right? We'll be expecting some retracement back into this level, and then of course it will be at that level that we're going to take a sell position, right? So let me delete the fib, and then let's look at that level together, okay? So this level is around 1.78613. 1.78613. So yes, I'm expecting a bullish retracement to that level. And of course, from that level will be a very good position where I will be looking out to take a sell position on Euro NZD. Okay. So I've given you three, right? So Euro NZD, a bullish retracement, then a bearish movement will most likely continue on Euro NZD. The next one I want to give you is Card JPY, okay? So Card JPY as well is sitting pretty well on a supply zone. And then, of course, we've got bearish confirmation. That's on the daily time frame. You can find it, right? Even on the weekly time frame, if you look at it, this is sitting pretty well around the supply zone. But on the daily time frame, we've got bearish confirmation as well. So we scale down to the 4-hourly time frame or other time frames, and then look out for a sell opportunity on Card JPY. All right. So use whatever method, but look out for a sell opportunity on Card JPY. To be more safe trading this, I will advise that you don't trade the first impulse. Look for a break of structure as well. There's no break of structure yet on Card JPY. Okay. There's no break of structure yet on Card JPY. So let us see that this structure here is actually broken. And what do I mean? Of course, you can see okay, let me use this, sorry. Of course, you can see a push to the upside, back, and then again and back, and then again and back, and then again, right? So let us see that a low is established that is lower than this low here, and then another high is established which is lower than this high here, and then of course from this level we can take it all the way down. So this whole area is most likely going to be the failure swing zone, okay? The failure swing zone. A lot will be happening around this area, right? This area is where we're going to be finding a failure swing zone or a change of character. Then we can take on sell positions on Card JPY. For some people who really do not know all of this, I feel it's going to be a little technical for you, but look out for a sell opportunity on Card JPY. All right, as well on CHF JPY, we also get bearish confirmation as well on CHF JPY. Already bearish confirmation came today, and so of course we will be expecting another change of character around this zone here, and then maybe most likely prices will be raking all the way down. Okay, so yes, this week look for sell opportunities as well on CHF JPY, because currently where it's seated, it's seated on an all-time high that has not been tested in years. Okay, let's look at it on the monthly time frame. All right, so if you look at this here, you'll notice that in the last nearly 25 years, okay, or more than 25 years, this high has never been tested before. Okay, this high, this incredible high at 160.6911 has never been tested before. All right, so most likely what I'm expecting is that, look, it broke this zone. Okay, so what I'm expecting to happen is that we're going to have a retracement back into this zone, and then of course find support there, and most likely it gets to continue going all the way up. All right, so that's exactly what I'm expecting. You broke this zone, come back to this zone, retest this zone, right, properly, retest it properly, and then go all the way up. So we can take this trading very serious once we find a failure swing zone around this level. Okay, around this whole area, where we'll find a failure swing zone around this area, prices is coming back into this level here, somewhere at around 151.085. From that, is where we could say, okay, most likely this guy is going to continue going bullish. All right, so these are the opportunities that I'm giving to you. Did I give you up to 5? Yes. I gave you gold. All right, I gave you USD card. I gave you card JPY, CHF JPY. Okay, let me give you 2 more. Euro and ZD. All right, so I gave you Euro and ZD already. I said a bullish retracement and a sell going all the way down. All right, so whatever is the information that I still get, whatever setups that I get, I will still be sharing those informations and setups with you. Okay, all I need you to do is simple. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. All right, turn the notification bell, put it at all so that you get notified every single time we put up amazing content just like this one. Right. And then once you do subscription to this YouTube channel, I will be sharing my trade setups with you and even many more things I will be sharing with you. For now, thank you so much for being here with me, and I hope to see you in the next weekly market outlook. So bye for now.